Hi, and welcome to episode 70 of M1 Yarns and the Michigan Makers podcast. I'm Jamie, your host, and the yarn dyer behind m1yarns.com. And if you're new here, welcome. This is a mostly knitting related video podcast, vlog, whatever you want to call it. And as of recently, I've started discussing my journey through learning to spin yarn on my new e-spinner, and every once in a while I tell you about other crafty and creative pursuits, including clothing over dyeing. I think I discussed that in the last episode. Um, and if you're returning, thanks for coming back. I hope that if this is your cup of tea, not this cup of tea, but your figurative cup of tea, that you would consider hitting the subscribe and the bell notification so that you get alerts when I drop a new episode, which is about every 2 weeks or so when I have something of substance to discuss. Today, speaking of tea, this is a good cup of English tea. My English mom would be so proud. It's 4 o'clock on a Friday afternoon, and it's overcast today here in Metro Detroit, and it's been a week that feels like it's been a month. And the best that I could do today was put on some sweats and praise the Lord that my hair looks halfway decent, because you ever have those days where you're just not feeling like doing anything? Yeah, that's my day. So I just got back from Target, which, if you're like me, Target is a very fun but dangerous pursuit. And I had my shopping list. My goal was to go there and do it and get a few steps in and kind of feel a little bit energized by being out and about. And I would treat myself after checkout by getting a Starbucks, coming home, having that to drink while recording this episode. The line for the Starbucks in Target was ridiculous, and I just could not be bothered. So that just kind of further emphasized the I can't be bothered theme today. Um, but I feel like I was thinking, like, what is the theme of this episode? I'm feeling casual in my new hoodie, which I'll talk about in a minute. And just like really low key. Like, I'm not feeling super energetic, and I think that's okay. You got to take the good with the bad. Usually I'm pretty jazzed and a high energy person, but I think this week has sucked the life out of me. That's okay. So maybe this will be called M1 Yarns Unplugged, because I do actually have an unplugged specific thing to tell you about. But I think this will just be like a more casual episode, since we got the hoodie going. And speaking of the hoodie, this is available on my website, m1yarns.com, under the Love merch collection. And this is a design I came up with conceptually and worked with my friend Kirby to bring to life. She's a graphic designer, and this graphic is available on hoodies and tank tops, hats, tote bags, mugs, all sorts of goodies. So if you are feeling the yarn love, which, if you can't see very well, this is a tape measure, of course, a yarn ball with a heart, um, a coffee mug with an M1 Yarns tea bag, crochet hook, and knitting needles. So if you're interested in the Yarn Love collection, go check it out on my website. But it's now September, and I love September. I love it. It's like that perfect balance between summer and fall, when you can wear maybe a hoodie and shorts and flip-flops, or jeans and a t-shirt, instead of feeling like your jeans are suffocating you in the summer. So I'm a happy camper that it's September. And of course, that has made my knitting mojo all the, like, it's on fire still, like the last episode. I may not personally be like at an all-time high mojo, but my knitting mojo is. So after I finish this, I'm literally going to go Netflix and knit for the rest of the day. That's the plan. And I hope that you're joining me in that pursuit. So the I got some fun stuff to talk about. I'm looking at my pile, thinking where to begin. So, real briefly on the fiber spinning front, I haven't spun any fiber since the last time I recorded, because I've been really focusing on my Rhinebeck sweaters. Um, but to get back to that, I wanted to do two things, which I have now accomplished as of today. Number one, I ordered a battery. That I have an e-spinner, the electric Eel Wheel 6. I'll insert a photo, and it plugs into the wall, or you can use it with a battery pack, which you can order for about 30 bucks on Amazon. So I got that. I haven't used it yet, but that is now my unplugged way to spin. And then I ordered a Lazy Kate so that I could ply yarn. And that is on its way. And now that that'll be on its way, and I have my Nitty Naughty, I can like totally spin, ply, and skein up my yarn. And so I'm really excited about that. So if you are a spinner and you have any tips or tricks or good resources that you want to share, please drop that in the comments below. I am totally jazzed about my journey through learning to spin. I've just started following a few podcasts, which I'll actually, if I remember, I'll try to put them in the show notes below, so that if you're interested in pursuing um, podcasts about spinning, that you can find all those resources too. So I have all these projects that I'm thinking about, like what do I want to finish for the remainder of this year, and what do I want to knit early in next year. Every year I do like my top 9 patterns that I want to knit. And so I'm kind of starting to like very low key brainstorm those things. And in that, it's causing me to evaluate like my current whips, most of which will be done like ASAP. One, my sea glass tee has been on the needles for over a year, and I do want to finish it. I will finish it before next spring. That's my goal. But I had another whip on the needles in timeout that every time I thought about it, it literally gave me anxiety. It's not bringing me joy. Um, this was a kit in my shop, and I had wanted to knit a sample, of course. And I'd had my in progress. Oh, there's those knitting needles. I've been looking for these. Oh my goodness. Anyway, this is the, what's it called? It's an Andrea Mowry. I'll put it on the screen. Anyway, this is a shawl. I know it's about to come to me. Anyway, I had chosen purple because that's my mom's favorite color, and I thought that once I was done using this as a shop sample, I would give it to her. Well, I just lost steam on it. I'm not really a shawl knitter. The pattern was a little bit not my cup of tea, and I kept thinking, oh, I'm going to come back to it. I'll finish it for Mother's Day. I'll finish it for, Christmas, this, that, and the third. I love my mom, but I don't think she'd want me to suffer through knitting something I wasn't enjoying. I think I started to mess up something along like there's like a center spine, and actually it doesn't look bad on camera, but I felt like I lost my place in the pattern and I just ran out of steam. And so this week I've given myself permission. I'm going to scrap this. I don't even think I'm going to frog it because it's mohair on these like sheer kind of pinky purple panels. It's just going to be a total pain. So I'm going to pull the plug on this. So this is going to be unplugged. This is just garbage, except the needles. So it's sad but true. It's not bringing me joy, and I don't think it ever will. And I love my mom. I'd rather knit her 100 other things than finish this. And so it's going to be unplugged. So that being said, I have been getting so much joy from the 2 cardigans that I am knitting to take to the New York Sheep and Wool Festival next month in Rhinebeck, New York. And if you've been here for the last few episodes, you know one of them. But I just cast on the other was it last Friday? It was like a week ago today. Yeah. And this is the Laura jacket by Camilla Vad. I just split for the sleeves, and it's only been a week. This is bulky, which is why it's going pretty fast. But I actually haven't spent that much time knitting it. So, of course, the dog just kicked the tripod. Always. It happens every episode. Daisy, can you scratch your ears elsewhere? Anyway, this like vertical panel is where I will cut the cardigan open. And like I said, I just split for the sleeves. Now I'm knitting the body. The pattern is not beginner friendly. It's written in the style of, I don't know if she's from Norway or somewhere in Northern Europe, let's say. And I think there's a lot of assumptions worked into the pattern that American designers tend to like explain in depth. And then the font, I printed the pattern. That's my MO. The font that she used is really hard to read, and that's irritating me to no end. But anyway, I'm loving the pattern. I really am. I'm loving the colors. I custom dyed all of this for myself, although this color is my Harvest colorway. And it's available, I think, on several of the bases in my shop. But I'm really loving how all these tones work together. So, when I steek this, I will walk you through it. But this is coming right along. I mean, for only a week and have already split the sleeves, that really has me excited. And on my other cardigan, that is also steeked, and I actually did the cutting the other day. I'll insert a video of that right here. It's a time lapse, so it takes you from start to finish really quickly, including the part of me reinforcing it on the sewing machine. I did not bother doing a crochet reinforcement. That went exceptionally well. I went over it twice, as you can see in the video, and then cut it open, and here we are. So it's kind of bunched up on this needle cord that's shorter than the length of the cardigan. But right now I'm at the point of doing short rows on the shawl collar that will eventually like flip over almost like that, and then go further down, and then go down the length of the body. So I just ordered a ribbon for the inside of the steeked cardigan, which, if you know anything about this, when you cut, it kind of rolls in and leaves you with this kind of hot mess inside guts. And it's nice to cover that with a ribbon. So I haven't done that before, but I'm going to do it this time. So I just found a ribbon online that I thought would look really nice with this kind of color changing motif. And this yarn is Primrose Yarn Company's Homestead Sport in the colorway Fig. And the like light gray main color is my Silver Fox colorway. And so as soon as I finish the shawl collar short rows, so it'll increase and it'll eventually come all the way up and down the body, essentially I will be done. I have to knit little belt loops for the belt. And my good friend Gwen, she saw me, I had just cast on this belt at a knitting get together a couple weeks ago. And she was like, why don't you just let me make you the belt on my knitting machine? Which she did. And I whip stitched it closed. So she knit it flat and then I closed it up. And thank God she saved me a lot of time by knitting this belt on the machine. So this is essentially almost done. As soon as I have the collar done, I'm done. If you have never steeked a cardigan, 10 out of 10 recommend it. Knitting a cardigan in the round is so much better than knitting flat. Steeking is not as scary as it seems. If you're interested in learning to do that, I really recommend the, oh, where is mine? I don't know what I did with it. I'll link it below, but it's called Steek This Coffee Cozy, and it's a little colorwork coffee cozy that teaches you how to steek, and it's just basically a little swatch that's, you know, removing the risk of messing up your first steeked cardigan, learning how to do it on a small piece of work, and building that confidence so that you can do it. And that's what I did last year before I steeked my first cardigan, and it made all the difference. All of my steeks have gone perfect because I follow exactly what I learned in that project. And I'm like clearly a cardigan addict now. That one that I just showed you that I'm doing the shawl collar on, that is Andrea Mowry's Spark cardigan. She has another steeked cardigan that I already have my yarn all caked up for, and I'll probably cast it on, I don't know, maybe sometime around Christmas or so. That is my next steeked cardigan that I want to make. And then I have a couple others in mind. I'm just like all about it. And I love wearing a cardigan, but I never wanted to knit one because I didn't want to knit it flat. So, problem solved. So the last thing I want to talk to you about is about a gift knit. This is a gift knit. I rarely knit for friends or family, but a friend of mine is having a baby. So Kelly, if you're watching this and I have not yet given you your gift, turn this off and come back to it later in life. But my friend Kelly, who is one of my knitting besties, is having a baby boy in, I want to say like late November. And so I wanted to knit something, and I knit this cute little sweater. This is the Go Get 'Em Tiger pattern, which is a free pattern on Ravelry. In the pattern, in the sample pattern, it's striped, but I basically just wanted to use the shape of the sweater as a template and kind of do my own thing. I used this brown for the neck and sleeve ribbing, and then I used the main color blue on the edges of the sleeves for something fun. And then I just let the body flow straight into the blue for the ribbing down here. It has some short rows on the back. Yes, I did do the short rows. I hate doing short rows, but I am working to overcome that hate. And I actually think I did a really good job. I mean, I didn't row out with my tension. They flow really nicely. The back of the collar is raised a little bit. Look at that. Look at that. That's beautiful. So I'm excited to gift this to my friend. And that reminds me, I actually have to knit another baby thing soon. So what is your favorite baby knit? Tell me, because I am all about these, because not only are they sweet, but you can knit up a baby sweater in like just a few days. I love it. So that is my latest finished object, and really enjoyed the pattern. So I think this is going to be a short episode, and that is about it. We're just going to keep this really simple and really chill in our hoodies and sweatpants. So I hope that you have a great weekend. I hope that you are knitting for fall. Speaking of fall knits, the make along is underway. It's called the Autumn's. No, that's not it. I didn't come up with something that memorable for me for some reason, even though it's really simple. It's like Autumn Knits Make Along. Yes, I'll insert the graphic, the dates, the hashtag. It's really simple. If you want to participate and post for a chance to win a prize, all you have to do is knit or crochet any socks, hats, mitts, shawls, cowls, or scarves. And post to Instagram with the hashtag, or there's a Ravelry forum for this podcast where I have a thread for this make along, and it runs through October 15th, I want to say. Just post your photos of your whips or FOs, that's work in progress or finished object if you didn't know, and you will have a chance to win a prize from moi. Anyway, now is a great time to cast on one of those little projects so that you do have a cozy accessory when fall weather really hits. And I'm so excited about that time of year. I just love it. So thanks for joining me here. And until next time, happy knitting, happy crocheting, happy spinning. Bye.